Let's talk about how to overcome the fear of saying no to people. Guaranteed, everybody goes through this at some point in their life. And I went through it, which is why I can speak on it and I can give you my life experience and the tools that I've learned to overcome this fear. And it's up to you to go away and apply the advice I give, or if you decide to, make it work for you. So we won't leave any stone unturned. I'll do my best in this video. And again, I didn't need to plan this video because I'm just speaking completely from life experience. So be patient, bear with me. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to my YouTube channel. Like, share, enjoy this video. Beautiful weather as well. And listen to my perspective. So all of us at some point in our life have a problem with saying no to people. And usually we have the biggest problem with saying no to close relationships, friends, you could even say family members. But usually when I hear people complaining about this problem, it's with a friend, it's with a close friend. Or sometimes it's with a very toxic relationship. So let's go back to the origin of this fear. Where does this come from? I believe this fear comes from the fear of confrontation and the way we've been brought up, which is a good values to have, which is to be kind to people, which is to be helpful. You know, if somebody asks you to help them, you say yes. But obviously, there's a balance with everything. Being kind and being a nice person and being genuine, it doesn't mean that you say yes to everything. And this is an extreme example. But if somebody told you, oh, take drugs, or jump off this cliff, or you know, commit a crime, would you say yes? You know, most people would definitely say no. So coming back to the principle, if someone tries to manipulate you and say, well, if you say no, you're not being a good friend to me, or you know, saying no is being rude, and it's not. There's a time and a place to say yes, and there's a time and a place to say no. So it doesn't stop you being a good person and being ethical and being kind, caring and loving just because you say no to a friend, or you say no to anything that's asked of you that you don't feel right about and it doesn't sit right with you. And you know in your own heart, you know intuitively when you're going against your own personal boundaries. But with all these things said, sometimes people still can't say no because they fear the person shouting at them or sending them a long message with hate in it, or criticism, or confronting them. Or some people just get really awkward socially. I used to be like that. They get really awkward when they're you know, with someone and there's eye contact and the person says, well, can you do this for me? Or you know, or let's go out. And they find it very frightening and just really socially uncomfortable. Say, nah, do you know what, I've got to say no. So there's that bit covered. Now, let's tackle the limiting belief and misconception that a lot of people think the reason why I can't say no to this person is because if I say no, I'm going to lose my temper, or the no's going to come out aggressive. And actually, as you get more experience and you gain more self-confidence and you improve your relationship and social skills, you don't have to be rude. This is something that I got very good at doing with practice. You don't have to be nasty. You don't have to be aggressive, and you don't have to disrespect your friend or anyone, but you just be genuine and say, do you know what? Like, I wish I could, but I have to say no. I don't feel right about it, or I can't. Let's just say, for example, a friend asked you to borrow some money and you didn't have the money. You were struggling yourself. You'd have to say no. And you can just be honest and say, look, if I had the money, I would help you, I'd give it to you. But right now, I don't have the money. So I have to say no. Sorry about that. You know, I wish you the best. I hope someone else can help you at this point in time. So that's just a really little example. But sometimes people find it hard to say no when a friend will invite them out. They might not want to do it. And sometimes you don't want to do it because the person's negative and you don't want to spend time with them. And you don't know how to tell them that. So obviously, having social skills is being adaptable. It's the ability to know when to say no. Sometimes you've got to be firm. If the person's being aggressive and trying to bully you and manipulate you, which unfortunately can happen in relationships, I've experienced it, then that's when you've got to stand up for yourself. It doesn't mean you've got to fight with the person physically, but you just got to say, no. And you can actually just say, look, I feel like you're bullying me here. I feel like you're manipulating me. I feel like you're trying to overpower me, and you're making me go against, you know, my own rights to say no. So you have a right to say no. You're not a bad person for saying no, because what happens is, the alternative is people end up becoming people pleasers. And a people pleaser is someone who is also not being genuine, someone that always says yes to things and will smile in the person's face and go, yeah, I don't mind. So this is just my personality. I'm not saying you have to be the same, but when I ask people for something, or if I'm in a situation where I might ask someone something and I'm not sure if they're comfortable, I will make the person feel comfortable. Say, look, you don't have to say yes. If you don't want to, I'm not going to be offended. You know, I'm not going to be hurt. I'm not going to hold it against you. We're still great friends. I'm going to respect your decision. And that's having a lot of respect for someone. But obviously, every situation is going to call for a different reaction. But this is something I learned as I got older. I learned this also from parents as well. So be calm. And sometimes you've got to learn to say no in written text, which people are scared to do, because a person might start a conversation and say nice things to you and then ask you, put you on the spot. Just say, look, I'll have to say no to that. Because if you don't learn to say no, then unfortunately, I'm not saying everyone, but there are people in life that are going to take advantage of you. They're going to know that you are afraid to say no to them. And that can lead, I'm not saying in every situation, guys and girls, whoever I'm speaking to, I'm just saying there are extremes. You know, some people, if you say no, they might just be respectful and go, okay, no problem. And they might hold it against you and get upset and not want to talk to you. Some people can actually confront you on it and say, wow, why'd you say no? You're such a selfish person, or I can't believe you're saying no to me. I need you to do this. But let me give you an example. Let's say a friend said to you, I really need your help. I'm moving house. Can you help me move my furniture on this date? But on this date, you've got something important booked already. Like maybe you've got to go to the doctors, or you've got to go on a date, or you've got to help your family, or you've got an appointment, or like you've booked tickets to the cinema, you spent money. So you're not going to be able to do it. So when you say to the friend, look, I would have helped you because I would have done that out of the kindness of my heart. That's what friends are for. But I can't help you on this day because I've already got the cinema booked, or I've got to go to a job interview. So sometimes there's nothing wrong with explaining yourself. Some people get angry. They're like, well, I'm not going to explain myself to this person. And I understand that. So obviously this is why I'm giving you many different examples, because saying no, as easy as no can be, it can be very difficult for people. It can be very complicated, especially if there's, you know, emotional blackmail. Sometimes it's hard to say no to family, but you've got to do it. At some point, we all have to say no to one another because we would be harming ourselves. And of course, there is a time to say yes, and sometimes it does feel very good to say yes when somebody asks you something. But you can fall into what's happened to me at a certain point, of course, so I changed it, where you're just running around doing things for people and nobody's doing things for you, and then you get upset. So think about your decision. Don't say yes to something today that you're going to be angry about tomorrow and despise, because look, let me just make a point, right? You're never going to grow and develop as a person if you start hating yourself, because a lot of people, they hate themselves because they don't have the courage to say no to friends or people or certain situations, so they feel like cows. I can understand that, but that's not going to help you like yourself more. Learn to change these behaviors in a positive way, and it takes time. It's easy to do a video or to watch a video and go, right, he's right, I'm going to say no. But the reality, habits take time to change. So I'm going to be realistic. I'm a positive person. I still reckon a lot of you that watch this video are going to go away. You're going to love this advice because this is genuine from my life experience. It's going to take you a little bit of time to change those behaviors. Especially, this can be difficult for people. It used to be for me. If you're in a relationship with someone that you do love, but you've been allowing them to take advantage of you for a long time, and all of a sudden you start saying no, that can be very difficult for someone to accept. There's been many relationships where people say, this has been a relationship basically based around drinking alcohol. And when one person decides to quit alcohol, the other person gets very angry and jealous and frustrated and disappointed and shocked. When all of a sudden they say, let's get drinks tonight, and the person says, actually, do you know what? I've decided to quit alcohol. So there's a lot of self-work, I believe, that's required to really master this. And just to give you hope, if you guys are wondering, or girls, I've gotten really good at saying no to people when I know it doesn't sit well with me, whether they're close friends or strangers or over a message or a phone call face to face, because I've lived with the consequences of feeling like someone has bullied me or manipulated me, and I've been frustrated with myself and that person. So try not to blame yourself, take responsibility, be positive, and again, don't allow this to make your thinking negative, that you can't build relationships with people, you can't trust people, because you can have great relationships, but you just need to have some personal boundaries in place. And I'll tell you what, this will change your life. And do you know what will start happening? Yeah, you might lose some friends, and sometimes you have to lose friends to really figure out who your friends are and make room for better relationships. People will respect you. People might not like your decision, they might not like you, but they will respect that you have personal boundaries, and that's what this is really about. So I encourage people to still be respectful, don't be aggressive towards others, and if they're aggressive to you, then obviously it's within your rights, it's within the law to stand up for yourself. Now, if this information is great but you still can't apply it, take up boxing, learn self-defense, because self-defense teaches you how to respect yourself more, how to not be scared of others, how to not tolerate bullying, but also how to be really genuine. Of course, guys, don't take it to extreme, or girls, don't go out and say no to everything, because that's not going to be natural. There's going to be times when where you want to say yes, and it feels great to, because that's friendship's based on many things. But of course, real friendship is, it's not a contract, but it is based on helping one another. That's not all of it, that's part of it. But there is a time where you have to say no, you can't do it, all right? So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sure you've got a lot to say in the box below on your experiences, and I hope this video can help you, as the information's really helped me, all right? And as I always say in my videos, remember, become fearless.